Here we have the Panasonic stereo cassette deck RS618. Only made in Europe, or only sold in Europe. Maybe Japan? I don't know. I haven't been to Japan and been checking out their tape decks very recently. There was an American equivalent made about a year later. If you Westlife did a video on it. That one's unserviceable, as it says in the title, but this one, these lovely screws here in this metal case, it is. Thank God, because I needed to service it. The American one has two separate input level nozzles. This one has the 2-in-1 thingy. It's got two lovely analog VU meters. The American one had them recessed, and I think this way looks much better. You'll see here Dolby B, line input, and microphone input from the left and right stereo input jacks. And what you'll see here, normal chrome, Ferro-Chromium. That was a very short-lived tape format, so it's quite odd to find it. Still got the Made in Japan sticker. It's got the National N logo that they were using. It's got headphone jack, which is just unusable. It plays the stuff at such a high volume it'll just wreck your ears and your headphones for that matter. It's got a lovely square button. There was one sold in America much more similar to this, except it was sold under Technics, which now I might bring it up as very odd for someone to be something to be branded under Panasonic. They usually brand it under Technics, which is the brand they own for their audio components. Lovely little red light for when you're recording. You can see in there there's quite a nice tape mechanism in there. It's got a Isvela non-permanent erase head, and it's got an analog tape counter like most did at the time. We move down to the controls, pause, fairly record. Obviously I can't press it down without pressing down the thing up there, but it's got the usual play and stop with two big piano keys rather than the rest. Rewind, fast forward. Lovely little blue over the eject, which is something. Don't know why the American one had it too. Just red. Red's always on the record, but blue on the eject. Don't you see a color, and if you do, it's green. It's got a timer function, which pretty much all the ones from the year had. If we move to the back here, it's all pretty standard. It's got the model number, the voltage, the hertz cycles and all that. It's set for use 120 volts, blah, blah, the usual safety stuff. It's got a non-removable power lead. It's got that there if you want to read it. It's just talking about the Dolby, I think. Yes, it's talking about the Dolby. Another difference with the American one, obviously you'll have DIN connectors, which you might use in America, just a European thing. So that allows recording and playback. And it's got the line in and line out with the usual RCA jacks. As you can see here, it is in fact openable. If I can find wherever I put that screwdriver. I'll get back to you in a bit, but yes, it is serviceable. So you can caution, blah blah blah. Trying not to remove screws. Well, I couldn't have replaced a belt if I hadn't have. But yes, sorry, as I was saying, got a Technics. There is a Technics version which is more similar to this that was sold in America. It's got that kind of button. I'm pretty sure it had the 2-in-1 thing here, but I'm not convinced. And it had, yeah, it's just much more similar. I can take off this head for you, this cover here for you. And now that caused myself an extra load of hassle because one of the bits holding it on broke, so I had to use epoxy to put it back on. It'd just be a pain to take off again. But you can take me word this. You can change it. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the azimuth there. And yeah, I'll open it up now and I'll see what's inside. As you can see, I have opened it. And might I just add the screws on this? They're amazing. They're unstrippable. I've opened this thing at least 8 or 9 times overall through the time I've had it. Mostly what I was. Oh Christ. Oh no. and the screw. But yeah, they're just unstrippable and they come out really nice and easy. I don't know, that's something I don't have on newer machines. Just they're all low quality screws, but that is a nice screw. Very nice screw. If you look in here, you've got the transformer there. You got the motor here, and that, if you can see it there, I'm looking at it from the wrong side for ease. But if you can see it there, I'm not sure if you can. 3rd of, oh no, you can't there. It's not focusing on it. 3rd of August, 1979. With the Master Sheet logo there. So that's how I dated it, if you wanted to know. So that probably dates it to around early 1980. To whenever it was being built, and probably a bit later when it was sold. But yeah, I've got the insides here, typical of the day. I don't know, if you guys can see it, but there's the Dolby chip there. For the Dolby B, this thing has. It's got this right here. Don't have a clue what that's for, but sure. It does something. I just assume it's for grounding this, but I wouldn't know. I don't know much. To be honest, I'm a bit of a spoofer when I can't see the electronics. I can fix things, but not well. I managed to fix this thing. We've got the tape mechanism here. You can see the way it works there. You can only see the top of it, but yeah, piano keys are controlling it. Don't know if you can see in there the belt for the timer. No, you can't. Not from the phone, at least, but trust me, it's in there. Or not the timer, the tape counter. Just. So we go in here. Would you look at the size of that belt for a tape deck? Usually tape decks, for those not in the know, usually tape decks would have teeny belts. Even the home ones like these, but this is huge. It's bloody huge. Yeah, it really is quite big. So it was a pain to get a hold of a replacement because the original belt in here had perished. So yeah, this is actually a belt for a VCR that I had to put on, but sure, it works. If it works, it works. As you can see there, by the dodgy cutting around here. From the factory, this thing had stripped screws holding the motor on, and you had to remove the motor to get to the belt. So because the screws are stripped, and obviously I can't get a drill into there to drill out the screw, and I couldn't get a vice grips either to take it out. So I just had to cut off one of the supports. Thankfully, this thing is well supported from about 8 other angles, so I could afford to lose it there. You see, there's no give there. So I had to actually cut that out to get the belt off. Oh, Jesus. See, last time I was in there, I'll have to fix that up. I mustn't have put that in well. Well, I mean, it's been working so far, so it clearly wasn't too detrimental. Got the pots there, which is the main reason I'm opening this up, is because they could use a bit of contact cleaner in them. So that's the inside. I'll do one last sweep over for anyone who knows more than me. You've got the 2 fuses there. Thankfully, they didn't need replacing. Just would have been a hassle with all the COVID and that. You can't get to anything. But yeah, so that's the insides. I'll plug it in now for ease, and you can see it's been plugged in there. So if I turn it on, you can see that absolutely huge thing there moving along. That's just a plane speed. It goes at a rate of knots if you're going to fast forward. You see how quickly that thing's going. It's grand for the smaller old things, but sure, for if you've got something as huge as that, because that's why they use the tiny belts, I'd assume. It must be a fairly powerful motor if it's been able to drive that. But yeah, I had to replace the belts in this. Is it? Oh crap. Okay. What happened there last time you saw me? Said I knocked the belt off this. Now what I was going to say right before, while I was touching it, was how easy it was to knock off. And even the slightest touch could knock it off of its flywheel. He says, while slightly touching it and knocking it off of the flywheel. So I guess this is a belt replacement thing now. Now that I'm not having to replace it, I'm just having to reseat it. But sure, I took this bit here off. There were 3 screws, a long one here, which is probably going somewhere into the tape deck mechanism. Sure, it didn't break it last time. Won't break it this time. But yeah. Oh, this will be a right pain, won't it? It's been done. I've got it back on. There's been a fair amount of time between the last few cuts. I'm telling you, that took me bleeding ages to get on. Anyway, see you when this is all put back together. Back in the hi-fi, where she belongs. My grubby fingers. Away from the belt. So yeah, here it is. As you can hear. Plays it very well. But here's the odd thing about this deck. As you could hear, that was playing perfectly. No warble. No crunching of the tape. But that's only with the tapes it likes. We have here Freddie Mercury album, the tape which it does not like. And oh, listen what happens. It's not just that tape. A third of all tapes, it just doesn't like them. No good reason. It's not because of their thickness. It's not because of the length, not pre-recorded or not pre-recorded. There is no correlation between them. It's not the ones with wheels on here. It's not to do with the plastic, the bearing. There's nothing. Nothing between them. It just doesn't like them. But sure, that's grand. Sure, I can always record one of the albums it doesn't like onto tape that it does like. So yeah, and it's not just, it's with the same brand of tapes. Doesn't like this tape, but it likes this tape, as you can see. Identical. Doesn't like this one, likes this one. But sure, what can you do? Likes what it likes. And I think that'll be it. I might show you its counter working here. There are those VU meters. But I think that'll be it. And I'll turn it down. Oh, I don't have it on. Jesus. I'm expecting it to work. And they should kick in. There we are. There's the VU meters bobbing away. And if it would focus there. Turn the flash on there so you can see it. See the analog. The VU meter is slow because the belt's dodgy, but it's consistent. That's all I need. So that means that it's fine as long as these timestamps, they'll work on this deck, it's just not on another. So it's consistently slow, which is fine. As you can see there, the VU meters. It's not as good of an example of a song that's going on. There should be one playing, but now that should, yeah, a bit more action out of them. There you are. That's the deck. Hope you liked it. Any problems, comment, all that jazz.